Today, I'm showing you guys how to edit like Iman Gods' lead editor. We'll recreate this super clean iPhone UI animation, which I absolutely love. All the assets for this project can be found in the first link in the description, so go ahead and grab those and let's get started. Alright, I'm gonna start off by dragging all these assets into the project panel, and now we can start working on this. Now the first thing, obviously, new composition. Let's name this iPhone UI animation. 1920, 1080, frame rate 30, duration can be 15 seconds. Background black. Click OK. And let's start off by creating the background for our animation. So I'm gonna go ahead and right click, go to new, go to solid, and make a black solid. Perfect. And now let's start designing this background by first adding a 4-color gradient. If you have this FX plugin, you can use it, or you can also search them in the effects and presets, of course. Then let's go over here to effect controls for the solid, make sure it's selected, and let's make the first one black. Then we can use this picker tool and select the previous one and make every single one of them black except for one. This bottom one is going to be some type of light blue color, kind of whitish, so I'm going to go somewhere around here and go over to the white side. A bit darker, something like this should work fine. Then I'm gonna go ahead and rearrange the dots like this. I'm gonna bring this one over here, this one to the left, this one to the top, and this one to the right. I'm gonna bring this a bit more up so we see it a little more. And as a final tweak, I'm gonna add the effect called turbulent noise. And I know it looks horrible right now, but just trust me. I'm gonna increase the contrast until it's completely black and white, just like this. Then I'll go over to blending mode and I'll make this, let's try multiply. Then I'll decrease the opacity almost down to 0. I'll leave it at like 4%. And now you can see we have this really nice cloudy effect, which is also what Iman's editor used. Perfect. Now our background is pretty much done. Let's start designing the iPhone. I'm gonna go to the project panel and let's look for the iPhone outline, this one. Let's import it above the background and bring it right here. Awesome. I'm gonna press S on my keyboard to scale it up, just like this. And let's turn this to full so it's not blurry. I'm gonna scale it up even more to have it looking something like this. Then I'll go over to my align panel right here. You may have it on the right side, I have it on the left. And I'm gonna align it here horizontally. Next up, I'm gonna add an effect called color key, which will allow us to get rid of the whiteness in the middle. So add this effect, use this picker tool and click on the white. And now you see the edges are still looking pretty bad, so you can increase the color tolerance by just a bit till the edges start to vanish. Also using the edge thin may help. There we go, that looks good. Now I'll go to the project panel again and I'll take this iPhone background, which I found online. This is not the exact one that he used, but it's very similar and it'll do the trick. I'm gonna press S again to scale it down and let's drag it down. Now here we still see the edges right there. So what I'll do is I'll add an effect called roughen edges and I'll make the fractal influence 0. I'll make the edge sharpness 10 and I'll increase this border value until they're super round. And as you can see, they're disappearing as I'm doing this. So you can make it like 300 and now it fits perfectly. Awesome. Now for this iPhone outline, this thing is not looking quite as it's supposed to be on a real iPhone. So what I think I'll do is I'll just make a black shape there which will cover it. So I'm gonna press Q twice to get the rounded rectangle tool. You can also select it here, hold it, select it. And I'm just gonna turn on the grid to give me some guidelines. And I'll click somewhere over here and drag it like this. We can adjust it later. Let's go ahead and turn the stroke off. So you can hold Alt or Option and just click it off. Let's make the fill on and turn it black. Now to match the roundness, we can use this as a guide, which I think it's already pretty perfect. Maybe increase it or decrease it just a bit. I think 60 is really good. Then here on the right, let's unlink the size and we'll increase the Y size to be a bit bigger and maybe decrease the X size just a tiny bit. There we go. I think this looks really good. And what you can do is you can add the dot there for the camera, which I might as well do to show you guys. So just maybe taking the ellipse tool here and holding Shift and Command, you can draw a circle like this, and we can place it somewhere right there, and we can make it a really dark blue color. So let's see, something like this. Then maybe we can add a vignette to this. Or actually, let's do even better. Let's right click on the shape layer. Let's go to layer styles and let's add inner glow. Let's open the inner glow and let's make it black and increase the size just a bit. There we have a good looking camera. I'll make it a bit darker. And there we go. Amazing. Now let's go ahead and go to this top left corner of the phone. And before we do anything, press Command R or Control R and you'll get these rulers. And here you can just drag these rulers, and I'll drag one right in the center of this, so we can get everything aligned to the top. And then I'll press Command T for the type tool, and I'll type in just some random time. I think this is exactly what he used, so let's go with that. And as we all know, the font Apple uses is SF Pro Display. If you don't have this, you can get it from the Adobe stock. Just go download it, or I might leave it in the description as well. And let's go with a regular. Move it to the center of the line. Let's size it down a bit, not that much. And the reason we're using the ruler is it makes it super easy to align everything, because everything will just snap on and stay in place. So let's do something like this. You can always zoom out and see if it's looking too big or too small. In this case it's a bit too big, so I'll just go back and size it down a bit. And let's go with this. Let's move on to the right side. Here I'll go back to the project panel and I'll select all the logos we need. So we need the Wi-Fi logo. Let's drag it here. Are we missing one? My apologies, I think we're missing one logo. I'm gonna go find it real quick. Never mind, I was just blind. We do have it here. It's the phone.png. I don't know why it's named like that, but this is the signal icon, as you can see. Great. And then finally this battery one. Alright, let's go ahead and add a tint effect to everything basically, but let's just start off by adding it to the Wi-Fi, going over to the effect controls and clicking swap colors. And now we can just copy this tint effect, so Command C, paste it to both of these, and let's see how the battery looks. The battery doesn't actually look how it's supposed to, so we'll fix that. We'll remove the swap colors and we'll map the black to be white as well. There we go. That looks good. Now what I'll do is I'll place all of these in the center so we can even align them on the align panel, and also make sure to center the anchor point. If you have this motion tools plugin, which you should have, you can just click here, but if you don't, you can hold Command and I think double click this and it should do the trick. But anyway, now I'm gonna scale all of these down so they're similar in size, and let's snap them to the ruler, scale them down a bit more, and let's place them right over here. Starting off with the signal, I'm just gonna rename this because it's so confusing. Signal icon goes right there, battery goes to the right, and Wi-Fi goes to the front, sorry, in the middle. I might scale them up just a bit, and now that they're roughly in the right places, I'm gonna go over to the align panel once again with all of them selected and press this distribute horizontally button, and they're gonna have the perfect space between each other. But now they're way too big, so let's adjust them. That looks good in my opinion after a bit of adjusting, so let's go with that. Now we can get rid of this ruler. Now we can bring all of these to the front. Now let's start designing the white box that's in the front here. So I'm gonna take the rounded rectangle tool right there, and what I'll do is I'll put on let's put on the normal grid to give us some help here. And for this, just make sure there's the same amount of space on both sides of the phone so that it doesn't look off. So for this, let's just go right there and go over there. So now we know there's equal space, and now that we know that there's equal space, we can just increase the size till it looks good. Hopefully it makes sense. I remembered that we aligned everything to the middle, so you can just align this one as well, and it should be perfectly in the center with same amount of space on each side. Now let's make this white, just like that. And let's take this grid off for now, and I'll increase the roundness to be like 60. That's good. And let's actually not make it exactly white. Let's make it like a really light gray. And now we can start adding in the calendar numbers and everything like that. So let's do Command T. But before we do Command D, let's grab another ruler here from the right. And I'll place it right here where the roundness kind of ends. So just like that. And let's start typing in 2022. Let's make this black and just kind of start placing these all over the place. For this I'll go with the medium, I think. Yeah, medium looks good. And now for the month text, we're actually gonna do something which may seem weird at first, but what we'll do is we'll type in August, September, October, and this will make sense because the month gets revealed by kind of spinning to the right month. So we have to do this, and I think we'll make this bold, and let's just place August first in the middle, or snap to the ruler. Now let's keep it medium and let's size it up a lot. And then let's type all the numbers down here. So 18, and the color will be some type of gray. That's pretty good. And let's place the first one there, scale it down just a bit. And then basically what you need to do is just repeat this over and over again. So do 18, 19, 20, 20, whatever, all the way to 31. So I'll just see you guys when I'm done. Now that we're at this stage, we can just select all of these, distribute them horizontally, and we can duplicate everything. Let's bring them up and let's drag them down. And then just change the numbers basically. Beautiful. Now for this, for the number 26, it has a red circle on it, so very simple. We can center the anchor point there so we can see the exact middle. Go to the exact middle, hold Shift and Command, don't do a mask. So deselect the layer. Yeah, sorry, we can't see the anchor point if we deselect it, but what you can do is you can grab a ruler and grab another one. And this is just to get perfect measurements, so everything works super smoothly. Boom, red circle, make it not exactly the brightest. Go like that, then let's place it under these text layers like that, and we'll change the color of the text to be white. That looks really good. Now some final touches to our design before we start animating. Let's fix the background, which I don't really like. I think it's too bright, so the iPhone's background. We can go ahead and add a, what should we add? Let's go with it. Let's do curves. Let's add the curves effect. What we can do is we can press a point there, point above, and let's bring this down to make it darker, just like this. And we can also bring this a bit to make it darker as well. We don't want it to be purple, but we want it to be darker. So yeah, that looks really good. And then let's also add a vignette to it, so it immediately looks so much better. And let's center the vignette to there, so a bit more above than in the middle. Okay, amazing. Now I want to fix this August, September, October text first, which we'll do it by making a shape layer and just doing a simple track matte. So let's take the rectangle tool. Let's draw a shape like this. Boom. And let's go ahead and take this, and we can name this shape to be named matte. And let's bring it down here, and let's just track matte this to the matte. So press this toggle and switches and modes if you don't see it, and here see the track matte, and let's just do it simply like that. And one more thing you want to add to the matte is a fast box blur, and just pump that up to like maybe like 20, just so the edges are not, they're kind of feathered out, you know, that's kind of like a feather effect. And then what we'll do is we'll take this August, October text, press P on it, do position, then let's go to 2 seconds, so you can see over here, till we're at 2 seconds right there, and just do that to make the October be right there. And let's make it perfect by grabbing the ruler back and going like that. Beautiful. And what I'll do is I'll go to the matte and I'll increase this size just a bit so that we get the whole October text. But here you get the point on how to make something like this. Obviously looks really bad with the linear keyframes, but whatever. Here we still see the R, so what I'll do is I'll actually add a couple more spaces just right there and move this again. And then what we'll do is we'll ease ease, so F9. Let's go to graph editor and let's pull the right one to the left, and that's pretty good. But I did add a little bit too many spaces. You can actually see it there, so I'm gonna fix that. That's a lot better. And I'll make this an even sharper graph, so this left one, let's put it to the left a bit, just like that, and maybe make it a bit faster. Yeah, that looks good, awesome. Then also this red circle, it slides from the right, so let's do position on it, and let's push it forward to around 1 second, and let's just push it somewhere, well, let's center its anchor point, that's weird. And let's just push it somewhere like there. And just make this easy, then make it a really fast graph. This is barely noticeable in the original video, but just a small detail, so why not add it? Great, now let's make the iPhone pop up. So I'll get rid of these rulers, and now we need to basically parent everything to something. So let's just take all of these and let's just parent them to the iPhone outline. Why not? And by the way, I forgot this one thing. We can make this outline. In the original it's super white. We don't want it that white, but we want it to be a little more something like this. And then there are some effects on it. So there is a glow, and we'll make this AB colors, and let's make this a bluish glow like that. Then we can also add a CC light sweep, and we can place it to the right. We can decrease the sweep intensity to 0, and we can just make this width something like this. We decrease that a bit, kind of play around with it to get a nice glow on the top. And we can also go to layer styles, outer glow, open it, and do like a bluish color, and increase the size a bit, and let's decrease the opacity. Awesome. Looks so good, super good. Maybe it's a bit too much on the glow. I went kind of crazy with it. This is fine. So now that everything's parented to it, we can just move this iPhone outline and everything should follow. So let's go to like 1 second, put a keyframe there, go back and just push this down. And as you can see, everything follows. Push it down to like there, easy then go to the graph editor and pull the right one to the left. Now let's do the scene switch where it changes to Iman's Instagram page. Or to his Instagram stories. And for this we need to do something called shape morphing, which is a pretty cool concept, and I'll show you guys how to do it. So let's go to like 2 seconds. I'm just gonna make a marker here at like 2 seconds, then go to like 3.5 seconds maybe, something around there. And that's the length of this animation. And now I'm gonna show you exactly what to do. So what you wanna do is take all of these thingies that are on here, select them, just select them. Don't select this August text because it's already track matted to something. Take this 2022 text, take this matte, and take this shape and track matte everything to this shape. And let's turn the shape on. So now what this does is now that we move this, everything basically disappears except for the October, but we can't really track matte it. Or actually we can. Hold on. A workaround for this is to cut it right here and then untrack matte it and basically delete these texts and just press Command R and bring it to the same position, to the exact same position as it was. So as you can see now it's not in the exact same position, so that's noticeable and we don't want that. So what you can do is you can overlap them like this and then just place them exactly to the pixel. And that way it's really not going to be noticeable. Amazing. And now this one we can track matte to the shape. Great. Now what we can do is we can keyframe the size of this. So you can come here to contents, rectangle 1, rectangle path, and size, keyframe it here. Or actually, let's go to my marker, which I made. And let's go to this last marker. And what we'll do is we'll make this just a really small line like this. Boom. And now you can still see the October text. So we're gonna select it, press T for opacity, and just at the end here, make it fade away completely. Great. And this happens super fast. So easy is it? Or actually, don't easy is it yet. We're gonna do the other keyframes as well. And the other keyframes will be for position, obviously. Press P for position, and then you can press U to see them both. And go here to the last set and just push this up till it's right there, right at the top. And that's great. Now let's easy this and go to graph editor and pull both of these to the left and even these ones a little. And let's see how it looks. It looks all right, but one thing I want is for the texts to follow this as well. So not only do we have to parent them, or not only do we have to track matte them, we're also going to parent them to the white. So these are all parented to the iPhone, but we can just change that to be parented to the shape. So taking all of these, parent to this shape, and it should still work here. As you can see, nothing's messed up, except for 31, we missed that. Let's do that as well. And now if we play this, yeah, as you can see, all the texts, they follow, and it's way smoother. And this opacity, we're gonna bring it a bit more to the front, just like this. And that's incredibly clean, that's super clean. That's basic shape morphing. Or not exactly basic, a bit more difficult, whatever. Now we're at the point where we want to bring in the Iman Instagram pictures. So I have this one right here. This is a sick picture I found. It's not the exact one he used, but I didn't find out. I found this is better. And let's bring it below the background, just like this. And let's parent it to the, we'll parent it to the iPhone outline, I think. And the way we'll reveal it is we'll go where these keyframes start for the shape box, and we'll make a keyframe for the background. But before we do that, or this should have a, no. We're gonna make a mask for the background, like this. So basically a mask, but it does nothing yet. We're gonna press M 3 times to see the mask settings, and keyframe mask path, and go here where this ends. This should be the same, whatever. And select the mask and drag this. Don't select the mask, select the layer, and you can move these individually, and this way we'll reveal the Iman picture. Great, then just feather it out so it looks good. So do a bunch of feathering, and that's how we'll do it. Easy is it. Left graph. Amazing. We'll feather it out even more. It's not really feathering that much for some reason, but this is good as well. Let's place the Iman picture behind everything. So now it reveals super smoothly like this. I'll make these a bit faster. Or I won't make them faster, I'll make the graph sharper. Drag that to 14. This one as well. That looks really good. Then we'll have Iman's profile pic slide in. So this one, take it from the project panel. And what we'll do for this is we'll make a mask. So we can take the ellipse tool and make a mask. So it's just Iman. You can hold space to move it perfectly. There, perfect. Let's center the anchor point and let's scale it down a lot. We can use this ruler as a guide, place it at the end of the white line. And yeah, I think that looks good. Then let's take type tool, Command T, and let's type Iman Gadget. And let's do regular, let's select it. Let's do regular, let's do white, and let's place it right there. Actually, sorry. It's his Instagram handle, so it's like this. We can take another ruler to make this easier. I'll actually change the font for this. We want it to be lighter and the SF Pro doesn't have a lighter one, so we'll do Roboto Light. That looks good. Phenomenal. Then let's animate the Iman logo in. So let's do, it's this one, let's do position and opacity. And what I'll just simply do is pull it to the left like this, make the opacity 0, ease it, and do a graph like this. And push the first opacity keyframe a bit forward. That's smooth. And for the Iman Gachi text, let's also just do opacity position, and let's make it come from the right. So push the bit to the right, make the opacity 0, ease, and do the graph. I did it the wrong way. Start with these keyframes. Boom. There we go. That's clean. Now let's do the same thing for this Iman picture we did for the iPhone background. Actually, we can just go to the iPhone background and take the rough edges and add it to the picture. So now they're not anymore there. Now one thing we have to do for this, and we might as well parent this logo to the iPhone outline and this one as well. Now let's cut this shape layer into 3 parts, which it is in the original. So we have to find it. Here we have it. And we need to cut it into 3 parts. The way we'll do that is, let's go ahead and cut it right here. And let's duplicate it once. And let's see how long it is. This is 595 pixels long. Let me open my calculator and let's do 595.4 divided by 3, 198 by 4. Let's do 198 by 4. This is the first one. Let's do 197 by 4 because we'll leave a small gap to the center or between these. So boom, boom, and boom. Pretty smart. Now let's take these 3, pull them down to where they're supposed to be, and let's delete this. So now we have 3 separate lines. I think we might make them a bit smaller. So let's make them 195.4 each one. Then let's make these 2 last ones a darker color. So a dark, kind of like this, even darker, because we're currently on this first slide, so this makes sense. And even for this, we're gonna make it in a way where it becomes a bit darker on the right. So let's duplicate it and let's make it darker. Let's copy this code we used here and let's put a mask on this where the thing actually happens. So right there, let's take a ruler, boom. Let's go here and let's do a map. Let's take the rectangle tool and let's do a tool creates mask right there. Click that and let's do a mask like this. And let's do opacity 0 and then it becomes like that. Hopefully that made sense. But yeah, there we have it. Let's go about a second forward and over here we'll have the clip changed to another Iman clip. And this one is actually a video. So go over to the project panel and let's take it somewhere. I don't think we have it in here. No, we don't. Let me import it. I'm gonna leave it in the original folder. So let's add it to the project and let's add it to the timeline. This is just a quick clip of Iman Gachi looking at some Maybach Mercedes. In the original it was some Rolex clip, but this will do as well. So here we're at like 2 seconds, 220. Let's go somewhere over here and let's kind of scale this clip down and let's go ahead and mask out just the clip right there. Perfect. Let's place it right there. Whoopsies. Let's go ahead and scale it. Just press the align button here to align it perfectly in the middle. Let's center the anchor point right there. Or if you don't have this plugin, it's command double clicking this thingy. Scale this boy up and bring it under the outline but above the background. Perfect. Let's place it like this so we can actually see it. And there we go. Now we have this mask on it, so we can pretty easily just select the clip and bring this mask down right there. And then we'll do the same thing with the roughen edges effect to get rid of these. Get rid of this thing showing, right? So let's go to the iPhone background, and here we have the roughen edges effect. We can just copy, paste, boom, beautiful. There we have it. And I'm gonna make this clip start a bit later so it's already zoomed out so it's not confusing. Boom. And the logo here is below this. Yeah, we're gonna want to grab this clip and drag it below the logo so we can see the Iman God's Instagram profile logo right there. All right, that's looking good. And there's not really a transition between these clips, so it kind of just happens. The only thing we need to add is when this clip starts, we're gonna go over to this thing. So this one, the Instagram thingy, and we're gonna duplicate it. Once again, let's select it, take the rectangle tool, let's go tool creates mask. Let's do any kind of mask like that. And let's go press M. Let's press M 3 times. Keyframe the mask path here in the beginning. Let's place it like that and just go forward some time and do that. And then we also have to make sure this is big enough like that. Then we use these and then we make this graph. And now it works. Looks good. Amazing. Then this clip plays for around a second or two. And then we can go right there. And our third clip is gonna be the job application thingy. So we need a background for it. So let's turn the fill on to be a gradient and let's turn the stroke off on the rectangle tool. So yeah, shape tool. And let's do linear gradient, make the top white, or let's just draw it first so we can see what we're working with. So just like this, let's press V for the move tool, or the normal move tool. Is this the move tool? Selection tool, right. And let's just do something like this. So pulling this to the top and this to the bottom. And for the top here, we're gonna have it be black. Then on this, we're gonna have it be light blue / really white. Like this, there's actually the wrong way around. So let's flip this. Boom, boom. So pretty much just white. And then we'll add a third color here, which will be a bit more bluish. Great. Then we're gonna play around with this till it's something like that. Looks pretty nice, I'd say. Great. Now let's take this, let's bring it down here, just above the clip we previously had. And now we can see a bit better what it looks like, so we have to adjust it a tiny bit. So we'll make the black a lot more, and yeah, just do something like this. Great. Let's not spend too much time on it. And this one either doesn't really have a transition, so it's just gonna pop up. And how long should it be? Maybe like a second or two. And we do the same thing that we did for this. So we can just copy this white line, the one with the effect already on it. Copy this previous line, press U to see everything. And let's go to this position keyframes so everything stays nice. And let's place it on top of this line perfectly. I think that's really good. Let's see. Right, and we have to place it above this. Yeah, that was the missing piece. Alright, but that looks great. What easy is this? Awesome. Now let's just make it match when the background appears. So place your playhead right there and match the keyframes of the mask to it. So right there. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and design the grow your agency thing. So what I'm gonna do actually before that is I'm gonna kind of clean up my timeline here. So we have all these text layers that we don't really need anymore. So all these numbers, etc., which we can kind of just delete right here. So option and right bracket. Also this, just to clean up the timeline a little bit. This one we actually do need. So we can like place it down here or something. But yeah, now we have a much more clean timeline. Oh, by the way, this is still messed up. So the background, bring it down, and let's add the same effect to it, which we can take right there, paste it right there, bring the, for this one it's actually a bit too much, so let's decrease the border, boom, beautiful. And now we'll design the Grow Your Agency text, or the box. And what we can actually do here is go to the start, and we can copy this white box we used earlier. So this one, duplicate it, and let's bring it somewhere over here. And let's press U on it and delete all keyframes, etc. And let's work with this, because we already have it in the center perfectly. It might be a bit smaller on the y-axis, so you can just kind of scale that down. And now let's design it. So we can start off by going to the project panel, and here we have the logo, which I found online. And we can kind of just slap this on here, just like this. This is exactly what he used, so it's perfect. Then we can go ahead and duplicate this white shape, and we can make it the same blue. Let's take this eyedropper and make it that color. Then let's decrease the size here on the right, and the size in this direction as well. And let's make the roundness from 60 to around 20, and we'll place it down here. And this is a pretty good size for it, I'd say. Then let's just take the text tool, or the type tool, and type in apply. Let's do like Roboto medium, or maybe even bold. Let's try bold. Let's align this text, so align panel in the center. Let's make it actually medium and increase the size a bit. That looks good. Then on the top here, we're gonna want a similar box as this, which says job application. So we can kind of just duplicate this one and just make it a lot smaller and smaller in this way. And what we'll do is we'll place it under the white shape. So it's just kind of like a pop-up box like this, which says job application. So let's duplicate this text and type it in. Maybe we'll do a capital A. Actually not, let's not do a capital A. And let's make this a bit thinner. So let's do regular, scale it down a lot, and boom, that's good. But let's make this smaller, because we don't need it to be that big. This one as well. Great. Now the final thing I'll do is I'll push this completely, both of these to the right a bit. So there we have it after some adjusting. Looks really good. Now let's animate everything in. Now the way we're gonna animate this is, let's bring everything to the top so we know what we're working with. Like this. That should be everything. Great. Then let's do position on all of these, and let's bring it down. Yeah, unparent everything from. Let's bring it down. Let's easy ease, and let's do a graph like that. And then for this white shape, so the original shape, this we'll also do a size keyframe, and we'll go to the beginning, and we'll kind of size this up and then drag it down to the original position. And then let's do the same graph like that. Then on the top here, we'll push it a bit more up so it matches. And this is a really subtle detail, but this is what Iman had, where the box is a bit bigger as it comes up, and then it, decreases in size. Super small detail, but I gotta make it because I'm recreating this exactly. Then this job application text, it only appears as this is done. So we can actually delete the keyframes. I shouldn't have keyframed this. My bad. So let's delete these keyframes, and let's do a position keyframe like here as it arrives. Push it forward and then slide it down. And let's also bring this text under everything. Easy ease it and make a left graph. Beautiful. Maybe adjust it a bit to be starting a little sooner. And we can cut it like that so it's not showing what it's not supposed to. Boom, beautiful. And next let's take this white shape. Let's press U and let's keyframe size once again. And let's go a bit forward. And we'll increase the size, just like this. Then let's take the apply box and the apply text, let's do P for position, and let's push this down like this. Then let's do the Grow Your Agency logo and keyframe it the same way, and go ahead and push it up. Easy is everything. And let's do a normal 70 graph, so graph like this. And before that happens, we'll push this a bit forward. We'll make the job application disappear once again, so let's copy the keyframes, right click and keyframe assistant and time reverse them. So it kind of vanishes before this animation happens. And then we'll go right here and we'll type in long form video editor, and we'll make this dark gray color. Increase it, let's make it Roboto medium, I think. Let's align it, let's make it a bit darker, and let's scale it down. And then we'll go here where the apply is and we'll place it in the middle of it. Boom. Or actually, sorry, it's not gray, it's like a grayish blue. So yeah, I guess something like this. Yeah, something like this is pretty nice. And we'll simply place it below the shape layers, so it reveals, actually not below the white shape layer, below that. So this is how it reveals. Sorry, it's lagging quite a bit because I'm recording. Let's do half. Actually, I just noticed that this Grow Your Agency text isn't supposed to move, so we can delete the keyframe for it. And yeah, it's just supposed to be like this. And we can even make the white shape layer keyframe the position, and we might even make it a bit like this, so it's not so unproportioned. Yeah, that looks good. Then one of the final things we'll do is, before we do some zooms in camera stuff, is we'll make a new shape. So ellipse tool, and the fill is gonna be just a normal fill, no gradients. Some kind of light gray color like this. And let's do opacity like 80 and make it a bit lighter. And this is basically gonna be our mouse. And then we'll keyframe the position of this. This is gonna be pretty much the ending part. So let's keyframe that to the start or to the end. And let's center this anchor point. And let's bring this like here and press G and do a slight curve like that to make it look a bit better. And then let's do normal 70 graph. And let's extend this a lot, pretty much till the end of the animation. Let's extend these as well. The opacity is a bit too small, so let's do like 95. Can have this start a bit sooner. And let's actually do a left graph because it's taking too long to show up. Then what we'll do is we'll take the scale of this and the scale of this apply layer, and also open the apply layer and go to contents, rectangle, fill one, and keyframe the color. And now let's take this and this, and we'll go forward like five frames, and let's make this scale like that, and this scale, or I guess the size, we'll link it, put it down as well, and then make the color a bit lighter like that. And then just take the keyframes in the beginning and copy paste them to the end. So that's like a click. And then let's easy ease them, and we'll make the normal 70 graph or the 80 graph actually. Boom. That's nice, and we'll make it a bit faster. Yeah, perfect. Love it. And the apply text as well, that also has to be scaled down. What we can pretty much do is we can cut it right there and we can just parent it to the shape, and it's not gonna work because it's the size, so we're gonna have to do it manually. So just go right there and scale it down accordingly. Boom. And copy the keyframe and boom, and just do the 80 graph. Boom. Now it's good. Alright, Now we're almost done. Now we'll do the zoom ins and final tweaks. So here, in the beginning, as it turns into this Iman thing, the camera zooms out a bit. So we'll take everything that is not parented to something and we'll parent it to the iPhone outline. So these two, boom, but not the solid, don't need to parent that. And now, yeah, everything moves with it. So let's make a position keyframe there. Sorry, not position and scale keyframe right there. And let's go right here where the Iman appears. And let's zoom it out and zoom it up. Not too much, kind of like that. And then we'll make a normal 70 graph for this. Boom. Beautiful. And here you can see a little bit of the corners not appearing. So what we can do for that is we can scale this up a bit and bring it a bit more down. So it's gonna be better. Same thing for this. In this we have the mask, so we can just extend the mask and bring it more down. Boom, not a problem. Let's actually bring this a bit more down. We're gonna do one thing to fix the bottom or the top, because I don't like how the face is too up. Now I fucked it up. I didn't realize that these were not parented to anything. So this is like this. But what I'll do is I'll quickly select everything and I'll add a null. So we can add a null. We can parent everything to the null and we can just scale these like that. And boom, I fixed it. I'm a genius. Now let's select them and let's parent them to 42 iPhone outline. And now to fix this top part, which I didn't like because his face was too above, we need to make like a shadow, kind of like a shadow there. So what I'll do is I'll just make a new solid, black solid, and I'll decrease the opacity a little so we can see something. And I'll select the solid and pretty much just go with my pen tool, go right there, so G for the pen tool, click and hold to make a line like that, and finish it off like this. Then let's up that a bit and let's bring this down. Let's bring it to like right there, I think. Let's also parent it to the iPhone outline. And with this we have like a slight shadow on the top, so you can't see the missing piece. And also Iman's editor had it there himself, so definitely something to do. Now here, as the long form video editor pops up, everything, it zooms in and it does a match cut. So to make the match cut, we can just make these 3D and we can make a quick camera here. Just a one node camera, this won't be too complicated, and add a null to it. And let's do position on the null and let's do a keyframe around here and start zooming it in. It zooms in like this much. And let's make the 70 graph for this. And make it way longer. And then right here, as it's about to end, you go in the camera and you cut it and you press P on it. And you zoom. What the fuck is that? Where's this random red dot? It's the... Okay, we can just cut that. Don't need it. But anyway, zoom in the camera to the apply. You can use the title and action safe here to make sure we're kinda in the middle. We don't even want it to be exactly in the middle, but just something like this. And then let's just do a position keyframe there on the camera and on there and do a really subtle zoom in. Beautiful. We'll make this a bit more zoomed in though, both of them. That click is way too long. Never mind, it was just lagging. Actually, this should be a bit further away, so extend those. That's good. Now I don't like how bright that background is, so let me fix that by making this color something like that. Cool, I think we're pretty much done. Let's just add an adjustment layer and slap on some effects. So first off, vignette made it look so much better. For here, I think we'll add another adjustment layer and put on the curves effect, just because I want to make this a bit darker like that. And we'll fade this in, so opacity. And then here, as the camera cut happens, we'll just do another, let's just do another adjustment layer, copy this vignette one, and hold on. That should do the trick. So it's twice as much vignette in this one. Yeah, now I'm pretty sure that we're done here. Final thing, just up Command A and put motion blur and everything. And yeah, I think that's it. That turned out so sick, like that's a sick animation. Hopefully you guys learned something, hopefully you found this valuable. Make sure to go and implement some of these in your own edits, but don't just copy it fully. And if you want to see more of my stuff, you can click this video, you can subscribe to the channel, you can leave a comment down below what you liked, and if you run into some problems, you can also mention that and I'll try to help you out. But with that, I'll see you in the next one. Peace!